When I was 5 years old, I mean, back in Nigeria, I went from when you're like 3, 4, they start taking you to the crutches, which they normally call jealousy or something. But I don't know, somehow, maybe my father just had faith in me and thought I was just going to catch up. So when I was 5 years old, they took me to a private school, and about 2 weeks into school, I was told, the teacher had to, like maybe 3, 4 weeks into school, the teacher called my dad and said there was no way I could ever know anything, that I was daft. That was the word she actually used. And then my dad took me back home. Then I had aunties and uncles back at home who were staying in our house. And then I knew I had no time for siesta. Then I was 5 years old, and they would just wake me up in the middle of any time and just ask me what the time is, and then they would teach me. But I don't know, my dad is the type that would probably just not give up on you. So after some weeks after that, he took me back to the same school. You probably just think he would take me to another school, but he took me back to the same school. And just to cut the long story short, I was promoted, and then they said I was okay to continue school. And then normally, with the rules of the school is when you're like the top first 5 best students in school, that's when you become a prefect. And normally it's meant to be in your final year. I was made a head girl in my primary 4. To cut the long story short, I did my exams and I passed, and I got into a federal government school. From there, I got into my university, which is the best in Nigeria, the University of Ibadan, to study medicine. It became very, very difficult because then my dad looked at me and said, "Are you sure you can go in for medicine?" And then the way it is with the University of Ibadan, probably that's why it's called the best, is when you're in final year, they normally bring about 7 different invigilators from 7 different schools. And the exams, so to speak, is not so much as practical. It's more like viva, like orals. And you have to go through the 7 stages, pass. If you pass 6 and you fail the 7th invigilator, you're still going to repeat that year. So when I got to my 7th invigilator, and the guy's name is from Ife, and he's known as the worst invigilator there. He got there and he said he was tired. I was just going to ask me a question that he's just been diagnosed with cancer. Oh, sorry, he's just been diagnosed with cancer of the bones, and it has affected his legs, and he's not going to be able to walk again. That I should cancel him. I don't know, I just started talking because I was really nervous, and I told him it's not the end of your career. And I started talking about Yinka Ifele, about how he started making money when he got paralyzed. So to cut a long story short, this was somebody who was once called daft, and I graduated as a medical doctor in Ibadan. So when I left Ibadan, I was supposed to go for my house job, and it was very difficult getting a placement. So I got a placement with the University of Lagos, and when I finished, I was immediately given a job at one of the best hospitals in Abuja called DIF Hospital, where I knew nothing about, artificial insemination, where couples who've been trying to get pregnant don't get babies, and we get the eggs from the woman, the sperm from the man, and then we fertilize them outside and then implant it back into the woman. This was somebody who just left Ibadan and was once called daft, who knew nothing about medicine. So to cut my long story short, I finished after 2 years. I finished after being called daft, and I got a job, and then my boss told me he wanted me to go for the master's. And then the school fees was meant to be about £17,000 here in University College London. And I came, I said I didn't have that much. But I came, to the glory of God, I've finished the program, and my results came out last week, and I was not just given the master's, I was also given another diploma with another school in London School of Hygiene. I do not know what they might have called you as a woman. You might have been told that all you're good at is to lay your back, or to lie down in bed, or as a master, they might have told you that all you'll be good at is drinking. But I'm standing here as a 5-year-old girl then who was once called daft, and I'll properly introduce myself to you. I'm Dr. Adebimpe Ario.